note that the spelling of cord in spinal cord, this is the correct spelling. C-O-R-D. This is the correct spelling. This spelling is wrong. C-H-O-R-D. That can be the chord of a circle. In geometry, you can use it as a chord of a circle. Then this spelling would be correct. But in spinal cord, this spelling is wrong. And C-O-R-D, this spelling is correct. I think in our videos, in one of the slides, by accidental error, we have written C-H-O-R-D. The spelling for spinal cord is always C-O-R-D. Now, we proceed to the actual video. You tell me, okay?
Okay, sure.
So, we are going to do the nervous system, right?
Okay.
So, I will share the screen and what was your favorite subject when you were in school?
Sports and games.
Sports and games. I think we should.
We had to study, like everyone else. So, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I was a science student. I passed my HSC in science. So
we are doing the nervous system. This is for junior and middle schools. So first, yeah. You see, we have got our body is made up of tissues. We got tissues like skin, bones, muscles, blood, and you have other organs like heart, lungs, kidney. So these are organs: heart, lungs, kidney, and these are tissues: skin, bones, muscles. These are tissues. So what do we need? In the next line, what is written? What do we need?
there's some mechanism
to control their working. And why do we need to control? So that all organs should work in harmony. Now here is an example of a control on the right side. You can see?
Yes.
What is it? Tell me. What can you see? What is the person
It is
doing?
the eye-brain-hand coordination.
Exactly. The person is filling the
filling a
glass.
glass.
Okay. So when the glass is full, he will turn off the tap. Now how will he know that? And the tap is to be turned off. The eyes will see that the glass is full. The eyes will send the message to the brain. The brain will send the message to the hands, and then the hands will close the tap. Right? Now
Yes.
the hands cannot see that the glass is full. And the hands cannot know when to close the tap. The eyes will see that the glass is full. The eyes will send the message to the brain. Again, the brain cannot turn off the tap. The brain will send the message to the hand, and then the hand will turn the tap off. So we are having eye to brain, brain to hand, and then hand is doing the work. Clear?
Yes.
So here you have various organ. You can have from the brain, you can have heart, liver, lungs, kidney. Every organ will send message to the brain, and the brain will send message to these organs. So this is the nervous system, the coordination we are talking about. Okay?
Yes.
Now, here we have more blood flows to limbs when we are running, and less blood flows when we are sleeping or resting. Right? When you are running, for instance, more blood will flow to your legs, and when you are sleeping or resting, less blood will flow. So how you will control?
Yes.
The control is by controlling the size of the blood vessel. When the blood vessel, the hole we call it lumen. The hole we call it lumen. When the lumen is narrow, less blood will flow. When the lumen is wider, then more blood will flow. Can you see here?
Yes.
Here, due to
Yes, yes,
constriction,
yes.
the hole is smaller. Hole means lumen. The cavity is smaller. The hole or lumen is smaller. So less blood will flow, means narrow pipe. This has become a very narrow tube. And here it has
Yes.
become a very wide tube, so more blood is flowing. So who will do this? When to make the tube narrow, when to make the tube wider? The brain will control this. The brain will control when to make the lumen narrow, when to make the lumen wider. Okay? Right?
Yes. Right.
We breathe faster when we are working hard and we breathe slower when we are at rest. The man is panting after running. He has run for a long time, it is panting. And here the person is resting, so the breathing is slower. And here he has been running for some time, so breathing is very fast. Again, who will control when to breathe fast and when to breathe slow?
The brain.
The brain. Here, blood and digestive juices will flow to the gut after meals. And blood and digestive juices, the flow will be decreased after digestion and absorption. So when you eat, more blood and more digestive juices will flow, and after digestion is over, the flow will be decreased. So when to give more blood and more digestive juices, and when to decrease the quantity. Again, who will decide?
The brain.
The brain. Now explain this one. This one. Try to explain this one.
Okay. Our pupils constrict, which means they narrow in strong light, and our pupils dilate, which means they enlarge when the light is dim.
So here we are having
Yes.
bright light. Yeah, see, when you in bright light, what happens?
In bright light, the pupils narrow.
Yeah, you can
Because
see
there is strong light falling on
strong
our
light.
eyes.
See the size of the pupil, you can see this round, black round, very small.
Yes.
And here, what happens in the right side picture?
In the right side, it contracts,
The
enlarges. In
the pupils
dim
becomes
light.
bigger. You can see the round, black round is bigger.
Yes.
Because it is
Yes.
dim light. So dim light means larger pupils and strong light means smaller pupils. Now who will control the size of the pupils?
The brain, when
The
it
brain.
receives the message, yes.
That whether the light is strong or dim.
Correct.
So there are other things like we go to toilet when the urinary bladder is full. You can see that. Here the urinary bladder is empty. Then we don't go to toilet. Here the urinary bladder is full. So at this time we get the feeling that we must go to toilet. Right?
Yes.
So when the urinary bladder is full, the brain sends a message that you must go to toilet. Here, tears are coming out because maybe some strong gases or poisonous gases are there. Or is cutting onions maybe. I don't know, when you are cooking, you cut onions. So whenever there is some pungent or strong smelling gas or some irritation, we call it, any kind of irritation, then we get tears. The brain will say,
Yes.
produce tears. Why? To wash it off. To wash it off, to remove. Similarly, see, the man is running away from danger. So the eye will see the danger and the brain will tell the legs to run. The brain cannot see the dog or the tiger. The eyes will see, the eyes will send the message to the brain. Now the brain can make two decisions. Either it can say fight or it can say run. Now it depends on the brain. The brain says
the fight
run.
or flight mechanism.
Yeah. So here the eye will see the danger. It will send the message to the brain. Now the brain will send the message to the hands and legs, whether to run or to fight or to stand still, whatever it is.
Yes.
So all these actions, what you have seen, the mechanism will oversee our reaction. These are reactions. When the glass is full, you are closing the tap. When there is a danger, you are running. When some irritating gas is there, you are producing tears. When you are walking or running, more blood is flowing. These are reactions. And all these reactions, you will notice that they are for safety and well-being of ourselves. All the reactions are aimed at your safety, your well-being.
Correct. Yes.
So this is called the control and coordination in animals. What it is called?
Control and coordination in animals.
And the two control and coordination mechanisms are nervous system and hormone or endocrine system. A nervous system, what do we have? Brain, spinal cord, nerves, and we have hormone or endocrine system, that is glands producing hormones. So for the time being, we are not discussing the hormones, we are discussing the nervous system.
Nervous system.
Now you can see the nervous system, you can see the picture. What does it consist of? It consists of the brain. There is the brain.
Spinal cord. Yeah.
There is the spinal cord.
Nerves, lumbar nerves.
We don't need to.
Nerves, sciatic nerve.
We don't need the students to remember these names. They just have to remember that from different areas, different names are given. The actual names they don't have to remember, but from different areas, the different nerves are given out and they have different names. So the main is the spinal cord here, and nerves are coming out. Here, nerves are coming out. And from different regions, we have different names. They don't have to remember the names. Just they have different names, that's all. So, we have the brain. This is the spinal cord in the blue color. You can see, blue color. Second picture.
Yes.
Spine or spinal cord. Here we have the nerve distribution, nerves coming out on both sides. They don't have to remember the names. Names are not important, but just that nerves are coming out and going to different parts of the body.
Yes.
And this is the nerve cell and nerve fiber. This is the nerve cell in the center, and the processes are called nerve fibers. These are nerve fibers. These are nerve fibers, and in the middle you have the cell body.
Yes.
So in nervous system, we have a division. What are the divisions?
Central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system.
Yeah, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system.
Autonomic.
In short, we call it CNS, central, PNS, peripheral, and ANS, autonomic. This is the autonomic nervous system. It controls some vital involuntary functions, but this is not in the syllabus at this stage. We are recording for classes 4, 5, 6. So just they will know that autonomic nervous system will control some involuntary actions like breathing and heartbeat, but this is not in the syllabus. So central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, what do we have?
Brain and spinal cord.
And peripheral nervous system we have?
Cranial nerves and spinal nerves.
Cranial nerves means they are coming out from the brain. When they come out from brain, they will be called cranial nerves. When they come out from spinal cord, they will be called spinal nerves.
Spinal, yes.
Cranial nerves will be 12 pairs and spinal nerves will be, wait.
Okay, it's 31 is it?
31, yeah. Cranial nerves 12 pairs and spinal nerves 31 pairs. Right?
Okay.
Now, first the brain. Brain is housed inside a protective cranium. Cranium is a part of skull. The whole skull, only the upper portion is called the cranium. The lower part is the face. The lower part is the face and the upper part is the cranium. So, cranium is a part of the skull. The full thing is skull, including the face, the lower jaw, the nose, everything is skull. But the upper part is a cranium, the lower part is the face. These are face corresponding to lower jaw, the nasal cavity, the orbit for the eye. These are face. So the upper part is called the cranium. So the brain is housed inside the cranium. That means it is protected. It is protected inside the cranium. And in addition to the cranium, the bones of the cranium, We have three protective membranes. The names are not important. They are called meninges actually. They are called meninges. It's not important. Now you can
Okay.
see so much folding in the brain. See the picture. What
Yes,
can you
yes.
see in
Ganglia
this?
and Cerebral.
Yeah, the term is correct, but it's not in the syllabus for class 4
Correct.
and 5.
Because it's for children,
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah,
for
so we
children.
won't
They
get
just
it.
need to know there are folds.
Yes.
So many folds. All these folds actually, they show the high level of intellectual development. Because when you, for instance, when you take the brain of a frog, you don't see the folds. Here we have given the brain of a frog, no folds. This one.
Yes.
If you take the brain of a fish or the brain of a bird, you will not find so many folds. So,
Yes, yes.
when you find so many folds, here also you can see so many folds, the degree of complex folding will actually denote that the brain is developed. The brain is
Yes.
developed. That's why we don't have so
Developed.
many folds in a frog or a bird or something, but only in a human being, particularly in primate like monkeys, and particularly in a human being, we get the most complicated folds, showing
Yes.
that human brain and also larger in size. You can see the brain of a frog and the brain of a man, larger in size.
Correct.
So larger in size and many folds. So both will denote the highest intellectual development or maximum intelligence. Two things,
Yes.
larger in size and complex folds.
Yes.
Now some facts about brain. These are not in syllabus, but this is for those who are interested. They are not actually coming in the syllabus of their book. In the book it is not there, and it's some of the facts are there. Anyway, it is not in the syllabus, but it is for extra information if they want.
Yes.
So the brain weight is about 1.5 kg, 1300, 1400, 1500 grams. The size is
Yes.
about 1.3 liters or 1300 cubic centimeter. That will be about the size of 10 tennis balls. It uses
Yes.
3.5 milliliter of oxygen per 100 grams or 750 cubic centimeter of blood. It
Mm-hmm.
makes up 2% of our body weight, but it consumes 20 to 25% of the oxygen we breathe. The total weight of the brain, about 1.5 kg, it's only about 2% of your body weight, but it uses up to 20 or even 25% of the oxygen.
Yes.
Our brain's storage capacity is practically unlimited. Brain is not fully formed until the age of 25 years, and about 60% of the human brain is made of fat.
Yes.
Anyway, these facts form interesting information but not in syllabus. Now here
Mm-hmm.
we come to brain, the parts of the brain. The brain has, what is the first part?
Cerebrum, also called as the forebrain,
Forebrain, cerebellum,
also
and
as the hindbrain, and the medulla, which is
medulla,
the brainstem.
brainstem.
Okay.
There's a midbrain, but that is not in their book. So
Okay.
forebrain,
Yeah.
cerebrum, there is a cerebrum part, and behind you have got the hindbrain, the cerebellum part at the back, and then
Yeah.
from here comes the brainstem, which will join with the spinal cord.
Yes.
So you have got colors in the cerebrum like green, red, higher mental functions, eye movement, voluntary motor functions.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
this, the
Different
details,
areas
yeah,
have
only
different
they need to only know so much
functions.
that different areas of the brain control different activities. They don't have to
Yes.
learn all this, but the brain has
Okay.
different areas for different purposes. Only this much they have to know. The
Yes.
brain is very big. The brain is larger compared to other animals. The brain has many folds, and the cerebrum has different areas for different activities. Now, the cerebrum has two hemispheres, right hemisphere and left hemisphere, and it has different
Yes.
areas for thinking, memory, speech, vision, hearing, smelling. So it has different areas. Which area is controlling which one, that is not important for the children, but different areas will control thinking, memory, speech. Different areas will control different activity. And you can see the
Yeah.
two hemispheres, left hemisphere and right hemisphere, in this section. In this
Yes.
image you can see the right and left hemispheres.
Yes.
Now cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and cerebellum is very small compared to it. You can see the cerebrum
Yes.
very large and cerebellum is very small.
Yeah.
What is the work of cerebellum? Cerebrum we have already discussed, that thinking, vision, hearing, speech,
Here.
memory.
Yes.
Cerebellum, posture, maintaining the proper positions, balance, and muscle coordination when you are walking, cycling, swimming. How do the different muscles coordinate? While walking, while
Yes.
cycling, while swimming, while running, the muscle will coordinate, or even while playing a musical instruments, how the muscles of the hands or legs on two sides will coordinate, posture and balance. This is the work of cerebellum. And if it is damaged, if there is a damage to cerebellum, it will cause unsteady limb movements, means uncontrolled and unsteady limb movements, staggering and fall. You will not be able to walk properly, you will stagger and fall. Inability to judge
Yes.
distance, you won't know when to, how far a thing is, proper distance you can't judge, and you won't know when to stop. You will have tremors, shakings or tremblings, and staggering and fall. The person will stagger and fall many times if there is
Yes.
some damage to cerebellum. Now this medulla oblongata, what was the other name we gave? Medulla oblongata? Brain stem.
The brain stem.
So here
Yes.
we have marked here medulla oblongata, and here also there is the brain stem which will continue to the spinal cord. This brain stem will continue to the spinal cord. So the medulla oblongata will connect the brain and the spinal cord and help in controlling vital processes, heartbeat, breathing, blood pressure,
Yes.
vital processes. My dogs are barking. Yeah.
Yeah, dogs are barking. I don't know
Okay.
why.
From next time, try to be in a place where the disturbance is minimum. So we have got heartbeat, breathing, blood pressure, all the vital. Vital means important for life. And damage is fatal, means damage causes immediate death. Damage to
Yes.
medulla oblongata, like damage to cerebellum, it doesn't cause death. It may cause some problems like staggering, trembling. It doesn't cause death. Damage to medulla will cause immediate death because it controls the vital part like heartbeat, breathing, and blood pressure. So medulla also
Yes.
controls certain reflexes like coughing, sneezing, vomiting, swallowing. All these reflex actions are also controlled by medulla in addition to heartbeat, breathing, and blood pressure. Okay.
Yes.
Now we have got the spinal cord. Brain was protected by what?
Cranium.
Cranium, bones of the upper part of the skull. This is protected by the vertebral column or backbone.
Yes.
Spinal column or vertebral column, and also covered by the same three layers, that is the meninges. So we have
Yes.
got one vertebra here. Again, this is not in syllabus because this is coming in skeletal system. So this is the
Okay.
vertebral column, and inside we have got the spinal cord. There is the outside, the vertebral column, and there is the inside, that is the spinal cord. Right?
Okay.
And spinal cord,
Yes.
we number like this. When you have X-ray or something, they number like this. C1, C2, C3, T1, T2. Anyway, that's not in syllabus, but that is a way of numbering.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
when through an X-ray, you have to inform the doctor that this vertebra is damaged. You can actually specify like T1, T2, L1, L2.
Yes.
Now, neuron or nerve cell is a unit of nervous system. Neuron or nerve cell is a unit of nervous system. A neuron has a
Yes.
cell body. See, this part is a cell body. You can see what I am circling?
Yes. Yes.
Cell body and processes that, and these are processes. These are processes.
Mm-hmm.
This one long process and many short processes. The names are
Yes.
dendrite or dendrons and axon, but again that is not there. Some of them are short
Okay.
processes and one of them is a long process. The name is different,
Yes.
axon and dendron, but anyway that is not there. So these are processes.
Right.
So one cell body in the middle and many processes, many long processes.
Yes.
So neuron has cell body and processes. Now what does these processes do?
They carry impulses.
These will carry impulses towards the cell body, these small processes, and this long one will carry impulses away from the cell body. These are incoming signals and these are outgoing signals. The long one,
Yes.
which we said axon, anyway, they don't have to remember the names. This outgoing signal and the small ones, the dendrons, they are incoming signals.
Yeah.
So this is, I am showing you single. When you have like this 100, 200, like a bundle, then a bundle of cell processes will form a nerve. This I showed you as a
Yes.
single one. So if there are 100 like this, 100, 150, 200, you will get a bundle. A bundle of nerve processes will be called a
Yes.
nerve. So what is nerve?
No.
A bundle of nerve processes. And the cell body,
Yes.
when you have many cell bodies together, it will be called a ganglion. Anyway, that is not in the syllabus. Like 100 cell bodies
Okay.
will form a ganglion and 100 or 200 or 500 processes will form a nerve.
Yeah.
So collection of nerve processes, nerve, collection of cell bodies is ganglion.
Yes.
Now cranial and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves means coming out from the brain.
The ones who come.
The ones which
Yeah.
come out from the brain. 12 pairs. Why pairs? Because on the left side and right side. Always it will be on the two sides. One coming from the left side, then exactly corresponding position, one on the right side. Always pair. So 12
Yes.
pairs, they originate from the brain. They supply head, neck and face. Spinal nerves, 31 pairs, originate from the spinal cord. See, these are, you can see here, you can see this, all these brains,
Yes.
all these nerves. All these nerves
Yes.
are spinal nerves because they are coming out from spinal cord. When they come out from brain, we will call them cranial nerves. When they come out from spinal cord, we will call them spinal nerves. Coming out from
Yes.
brain means cranial nerves. Coming out from spinal cord means spinal nerves. Cranial nerves 12 pairs, spinal nerves 31 pairs. And where they
31
supply?
pairs.
The one coming from the brain, the ones coming from the brain, head, neck and face, and this will supply other parts like skin, bones, blood vessels, stomach, kidney, bladder, liver, spleen, gallbladder. So we have got
Yes.
once again a recap, the difference between uh, cranial nerves and spinal nerves. 12 pairs of
Yes.
nerves from the brain, cranial, 31 pairs nerves coming out from the spinal cord, spinal nerves. So the
Yes.
difference, what is the first difference? Cranial and
Arises
spinal.
from the brain,
And
and
here,
the spinal nerves arise from the spinal cord. There are
second,
12 pairs in cranial nerves, and there are 31 pairs in the spinal nerves. The cranial nerves supply head, neck, and the face regions, And the spinal nerves supply rest of the body like skin, limbs, intestine, stomach, etc.
Other organs, gallbladder, stomach,
Yes.
liver, kidney.
Kidneys.
Now, we have got two types of nerves. Sensory, also called afferent. This is not in their book, but it is we have given it. The other name for sensory is afferent, and motor it is called efferent. Only the first letter is different. A,
Yes.
E. Only the first letter is different. A and E. So sensory or afferent and motor or efferent. What is sensory?
Carries messages towards the central nervous system, that is the CNS.
Carrying messages towards the CNS means towards the brain or towards the spinal cord.
Yes.
And motor nerves, what do they do?
Carry messages away from the CNS, that's the brain and spinal cord.
Away from the brain and spinal cord to your muscle or other regions.
Yes.
So one is going to the brain and one is coming out from the brain, or one is going to the spinal cord and one is coming away from the spinal cord. So from the point of view of CNS, the brain and spinal cord, you can say one sensory nerve incoming and motor nerves outgoing.
Outgoing.
From the point of view of central nervous system, that is the brain and spinal cord, from the point of view of brain and spinal cord, the incoming signals, those which are coming into the brain and spinal cord, that will be sensory, and those which are going away from the brain and spinal cord, they will be motor.
Yeah.
And mixed nerves carry messages both ways. From the nerves,
Yes.
if the message can go both ways, that is both incoming and outgoing, both are possible, then we call it mixed, because they are both sensory and motor neurons. Now here we have one example. See, the eyes will see the tiger. The eyes, that is the receptor, they see the tiger. They send the message to the brain, that is the central nervous system. And the central nervous system will tell the legs to run.
Correct.
So the eyes will see the tiger. This message will go to the brain, and the brain will send the message to the legs to run as fast as possible. So when the eyes will send the message to the brain, it is sensory nerve. And when it is from the brain, when it is going to the legs, that means impulse is going out of the brain, then it will be motor.
Correct. Yeah.
This was the brain. The incoming signal from the eyes, that there is a tiger. Outgoing signal to the legs, that run for your life. So incoming would be called sensory, outgoing would be called motor.
Motor.
Or afferent and efferent.
Yeah.
So simple rules for mental health. Like physical health, we also have mental health. You know, because you are in sports, you know that.
Yes.
Physical health, you also have mental health, and that is a part of your sports. Actually, those who are learning, they have one part, that physical health including mental health.
Yes.
So
they go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. So these are that. So you will explain this. This is your part.
Okay. Simple rules for mental health. First, have good nutritious food and not the junk food that you
Not
have
the junk
from
food,
outside. Stay away from alcohol, tobacco and drugs.
Any kind of addiction damages the brain. Any kind of addiction.
Correct.
It will damage the brain.
Yes. Do regular aerobics.
Aerobic
that
exercises. Because that is the best way of repairing the brain. Whatever damage may be caused, the best way of repairing is aerobics. Then
be calm and stress free.
Stress free, tension free. Then
yes. Learn anger management.
Special
Learn
anger
how to
management.
Control your anger.
Control yourself so that you don't be upset or stressed, or you don't have the
You may not be able to control your feelings, but you definitely can control your actions.
You control your anger, upset, how to stay calm even in adversity. Then
correct. Cultivate positive attitude.
Positive attitude means not a very pessimistic one, always complaining. Be positive, hopeful always, and this is important.
Give top priority to family bond.
This is one thing which is vital. The family bond, that is a vital part for maintaining our mental health.